All right, so you can see the snake moving through these bushes here. She's going from bush to bush. Here she goes this way. There we go, come on. No matter where you live, there's a fair chance that you may have some snakes around your yard, your neighborhood, wherever it may be, and at some point in time you may have them in your garden or very near your house. When I was younger, I'd sometimes get called over to people's houses to remove the snakes. I'd often just put them in the woods nearby and they'd probably be back next week. But I want to show you some of the snakes, or at least one of the species of snakes that you're likely to find around your house, and talk a little about why they come in that close to your house. And the one we're going to look at today is commonly known as a gardener snake. It's actually called a garter snake. And here in Eastern North America, it's the Eastern Garter Snake that you're going to see the most often. So let's check in these bushes. I just saw one a little bit ago in these bushes. I think we can relocate her and get a closer look. So follow me. We'll see if we can find the snake. These kind of box hedges, these bushes, the garter snakes love them. They're very dense, they're very thick. They can get up into them, they can bask on the bush, or they can just dart between them and use them as shelter to come in and out of this nice sunlight. All right, so you can see the snake moving through these bushes here. She's going from bush to bush. Here she goes this way. There we go, come on, come on. Here we go, it's all right, okay. There we go. All right, so she's snapping a little bit, but she hasn't actually bitten me because I'm being very gentle with her. There we go. So I'm barely holding on to her at all, very gentle. Oh, see that? So she has good enough eyesight to actually recognize where my eyes are, so she knows what part of me is the face, and because my hands aren't gripping her tightly, she's not having any reason to bite the hands. They're just a surface to crawl through. So you can see she's a little on edge, as any little creature would be if you picked it up, being the giant that we are. But she's being very calm, and she's very beautiful. This snake is probably out here getting a little extra warmth. Maybe she's digesting a meal. Maybe she's a gravid female, pregnant, going to give birth later. And as you can see, she is being defensive. She is kind of giving me a little bit of a charge here, but she's not actually biting me. And she's just trying to scare me. And she reacted to when my hand touched her. But this is a snake that many people will tell you will absolutely bite you if you pick them up. And as you can see, she's giving me warning, but she's not actually biting me because of how gentle I'm being. These snakes are defensive. I always like to stress that. Now, garter snakes are pretty identifiable by that stripe down their back. There are some individuals that you will find that don't have that stripe, but the rest of the pattern is pretty similar. This is a very common snake throughout Eastern North America, and they love to inhabit people's gardens and backyards, especially if you have a big backyard, a big garden with lots of plants, lots of structure, and good sunlight coming through. And even more so if nearby you have water features. These snakes like moist habitats. They can hunt for fish and amphibians along the edge of the water, or if you have meadows, fields, and forests nearby. Garter snakes thrive in open, moist meadows and forest edges, but have adapted very well to a human-altered landscape. Shrubs and dense garden vegetation can be a great place for snakes to shelter in between basking to heat their bodies up. If you're not a big fan of snakes, a cleaner, sparser garden might help keep them away from your house. Eradication efforts are unnecessarily cruel and are generally pretty ineffective. Though garter snakes will bite in self-defense when picked up or handled carelessly, they are harmless and generally inoffensive. If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. Garter snakes are ectotherms and must bask in warm sunlight to raise their body temperature enough to perform basic body functions. This is especially true of gravid or pregnant females. Since garter snakes are ovoviviparous,
gravid females spend a lot of time basking in the sun to regulate the temperature of their developing embryos. Female garter snakes give birth from anywhere between 1 to a few dozen babies, which are independent upon birth and grow fairly quickly, maturing in only their second or third year of life. Though many people are uncomfortable with the idea of having snakes around, garter snakes pose no risk to humans, and they will eat slugs and other garden pests. So in fact, your garden may thank you for letting these beautiful wild animals stick around.